Welcome to a new video in my home automation series, and from the good guys of Zemismart I've received a new product review. And if you have seen my shorts, actually I received a couple of products and both of them or all of them are Matter compatible, as you can see them now. And I decided to review this LED bulb first, and I'm going to tackle this inline switch in the subsequent video. But what we have here is a 7-watt E72 LED light bulbs, which is Matter compatible. So this works in a new standard, which is something that we have been waiting on, and I covered this in a couple of videos. And this is actually my second Matter compatible device, because the first one was a son of Matter compatible mini, but this is just a light bulb. So when I look at the outside, it looks like a regular LED light bulb. It has the E27 screw, and it has an opaque dome, and this is probably for the circuitry and the heatsink. And as it's mentioned here, this is the ZML2, and this is 7 watts, and it is RGB plus CW. So it means that it has LEDs to reproduce any colors, so red, green and blue, and that basically any colors of the rainbow, but it has separate LEDs to reproduce warm white and cool white. And that's important because from the RGB LEDs, the white light that you can reproduce is not really nice. So you ideally have these separate white LEDs as well. So with this you can control obviously brightness, you can control the light to be on and off, and you can set the colors to either any colors, RGB colors, or you can set the color temperature from warm white to cold white. And again, the added benefit is usually that the the white colors are usually brighter than the RGB colors. So 7 watt, I would say that it is if you want to compare it with the 7-watt LED, it would the white colors would be similar intensity as another 7-watt LEDs, and the RGBs are going to differ. For a same wattage LED, some of the colors are going to appear brighter than others, but that's normal. Let's have a very quick look at the listing, because first of all I want to show you the price, and also I want to show you some of the specs, which is not printed on the box itself. So it is well, I wouldn't say a generic box because it has a picture of the actual device, but it doesn't have some of the specs. So as you can see, it sells for $12 USD at the moment, and it is on promotion. It looks like the original price was $20 USD, and I don't have an awful lot of Matter compatible devices up until now, so I can't really compare whether this is a good price in a grand scheme of things. Of course, take into considerations that if you have a bigger room, you probably have to you purchase a couple of these lights, for example, in a chandelier. But let's see the specs. So it's 7 watts, 600 lumens. It works from 110 to 240 volts. And obviously it is Matter compatible, and we can see that it works, and there is a rated or a claimed operating hours of 1500 hours, which I think it's probably normal for LEDs. And I want to get to the color temperature. So it says 2700 Kelvin to 6500 Kelvin. I think it's not that wide, because 2700 almost feels like candle warm, like orange white, which this is not really, and the 6500 is it feels very bluish for me, and this one does not feel so bluish. But again, regardless, I think the difference in what you get from warm white to cool white is definitely noticeable, and there is like a really big nice range. So I have no issues with the color representation of this light bulb. So that was the main thing that I wanted to get out of it. So at least we have some specs on the actual color representation. Okay, and the rest of it is just like how you can create scenes. I think here they are using the HomeKit application, and in this video I'm going to show Google Home because I have a Google Home device. And going back to the top, I just wanted to show you that you get a little bit of discount if you buy 2 or 5 at the same time. I think I mentioned pretty much everything I wanted already of this lamp, so there's not much to say about the packaging. I said it's not like a generic box because, well, it has the picture of the actual device and it has, you know, voice control, app control, timing, RGB. So obviously timing is something that you would set in your Google Home application or Alexa or Apple, the HomeKit, whatever you use. And we have seen the specs already, and these are the specs that we have also seen. In the box, besides the lamp, you also get this small leaflet which goes through the basic configuration. Again, I can see some screens here from Apple HomeKit, how you use the how you set it up, but to be honest, it's pretty much the same process of what I will be doing in in Google Home. The steps are the same, the screens could be slightly different. They have a sticker here for the the Matter QR code. The Matter QR code is also on the box, on the device, and actually there is one on the box as well. So just to make sure that you don't lose it, so you can take this sticker off if that bothers you, especially once you did the pairing, because there are going to be a couple of other stickers. So maybe take and save these stickers or create a photograph it and back up it somewhere if you feel that you might lose it from your lamp. But again, it just goes through the basics. There is nothing really that you wouldn't be able to figure out yourself. Okay, so it is time to test this device. So I have just a normal E27 plug connected. It's already powered. So I'm just going to screw in this lamp and we start the setup. I'm going to do this for the first time. And according to the documentation, so there is going to be this, I think they said a pulsing light, a white light that indicates that it's in pairing mode, but it's not really pulsing at the moment. But let's see if we can find this as a new device. So I'm going to go into devices and add and a new device and confirm my address. And I think based on how it was working previously, we just have to wait a little to to make sure that it doesn't find anything like Google, and we need a Matter enabled device. And I'm just going to use the QR code which is on this leaflet, and yeah, I'm going to say agree. And by the way, whilst this happens, I just want to say that it's also mentioned in the documentation that if you need to if you need to reset this lamp again, you need to power cycle it 5 times. So you disconnect, connect, disconnect, connect 5 times, and then it's going to reset itself if you want to pair it with a different Matter hub or a different Matter network. So it says here, on and off 5 times, and then cold white light flickers. It's not really flickering. Maybe it's flickering a little, but I can't really see. Well, it's not showing in the camera, and I can't really see in the naked eye, but it definitely found, and the device is connected and it has changed the color, and I got a notification that I have a new light. So let me just move it into my office, because I'm in my office, and I'm just going to give it a name which says Zemismart Bulb. Next. And your device, it may take a few minutes, and I don't think it's going to take that long, so we just need to find the device. And it's going to be, it's here. My office is called a study. So anyway, I can operate the lamp from this and it works, and by default it gives this subtle fade in and fade out when I turn it on and off. So that's good. I like it. It's really fast. As you can see, it's like as soon as I touch it, it just works. So definitely local control. And if I go into the details, I have this huge on off button here, and I can also control the color temperature. So I think I have like 6 presets from the warmest white, which, to be honest, for me it's still like it's not like the 2700 Kelvin, which I find really, really warm. It's almost like a candlelight, and I probably we have to look at the listings. What is the color temperature that they state for the warm white? But I think it's more like around like 3000 Kelvin. And the cool white is it's a little bit bluish here, so that's probably around 5000. It's not 6000 Kelvin, but it looks nice, and it definitely works. And I can use this slider as well to change the temperature. And I mean, obviously my the webcam the camera is doing auto white balance and auto focus and auto exposure and everything, but you can see how the color changes. So that definitely works. And I can do the colors, and I can change the different colors, and it definitely works. And I think it is a little bit difficult to give a color accuracy for this, because there is this huge light which is on the whole thing. Maybe I'm going to switch off the other light so you can see it better, somewhat better, but it's always really difficult to film light bulbs. But definitely works. The color representation is good. So what I see on the wheel is what is how the bulb works. I would say that it is definitely less bright than the actual white light, but I sort of expected that. And again, it really depends on the color, because I think the blues are really sharp, the greens are a little bit fainter, the yellows are good, and again, reddish are a little bit fainter. But I noticed that even with LEDs, then I think the blue LEDs tend to be really bright, and also the yellow ones. So they are not equally, equal brightness, but they are fairly close anyway. So if I change that, then I have this big light which remembers the last color, and but I can change between the white lights, and I can definitely see like a big difference between the light intensity of the warm or the color temperature. So let's say the warm and the cool white, and the actual colors. So one thing I'm missing, and then you have the sort of like the volume control here. And one thing I usually get asked is like how low it gets. And again, it would be really hard to convey this through the camera. At 1% is definitely brighter than, let's say, a night light. So it's not like a very, really, really faint light that you can get with the LED strips. It is a very subtle light, but it definitely has some brightness. Let me also show you the brightness with some colors. So if I pick color, let's say green, and done. And if I bring this one down, then it's a little bit fainter than the green lights. The white lights. Oops. But as you can see, if I move up, it gets brighter. You can pretty much tell how the background just fades away as the camera automatically adjusts the exposure. But it's really good. It's extremely responsive. I mean, you can definitely tell that this is, like local control. I mean, I've operated so many of these smart lights that work through the cloud, like Sonoff one or Tuya ones, but this is different. Yeah, and it remembers the the brightness. So also, if I turn it on, turn it off, then it remembers that it was at 43% or whatever percent. So it's nice, it works, it does all the features that you want. There's nothing really in settings here, and there's nothing really here as well. So, and it's just one simple screen here on the home app. And of course you have the options here, and this small tile also works as a slider. So if you click it on and off, but you can also drag, and then it controls the brightness. So it's good. Let me test some of the automation functions. So just quickly see what we can do. So we can create a scene where, let's say, when a device does something, or let's say at sunrise. I want to set an action, so I want to adjust the home device, and oh boy, by the time I'm going to find this, it's going to switches, no, it's lights. So it's the Zemismart bulb, and I can control it whether I want to turn it on and off. So turn it on and off. Let's say I want to turn it on. I want to change the brightness, so I want to set it at sunset at 8% brightness, and I also want to change the color of it. And here I can check different colors. So by the looks of it, it looks like that these first couple of colors, maybe they are going to be the white, or maybe the first 6 is the white color, and then anything back here is they are the actual, you know, RGB LEDs. So those are the RGB LEDs, and the first few are the RGB lights. So maybe you can, or maybe at sunset, or was it sunset or sunrise? You can like do something like this, and you can create an action like that. So definitely within the actions, you can control whether you want this turn to be turned on and off. You can also set the brightness, and you can set the color at the same time. But of course, if you would only pick the, you know, turn it on, then it would remember what was the last color that it used, the last brightness that it was set to, and it will turn on to that setting. I mean, I just picked this example as random, so this is not like a sunrise a sunrise scene, because it just sets the, or turns the light bulb on at a specific time, but it's not going to, you know, like slowly increase the brightness of the LED bulb. But you can create some of these scenes like every 10 minutes and then just continuously increase the brightness, and you would have the same effect. And of course here you can change, you know, how many hours or minutes before and after sunrise, so you can make some sort of transition from you know, from let's say 50 minutes before sunrise to 50 minutes after sunrise, and then gradually increase the brightness of the bulbs. And that would be my review of this Zemismart Matter compatible RGB light bulb. If you are interested in this product, I'm going to leave purchasing links in the video description. But I think that will be all for today. Thanks for watching, and hopefully see you in the next video.